Good morning and welcome to Hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to six, and the general manager of Dan Cummins Chevrolet Buick in Paris, Kentucky, the second largest used car franchise dealer in the United States of America. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, everybody? Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 4th, 2018. The first and the last time that it'll ever be September 4th, 2018. You guys can't see me yet. Oh, hey, you can see me yet. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing, but you can hear me. But that's all right. Hey, today is an incredibly special day for me. Today is an incredibly special day for me because 7 years ago today, I married my best friend, Miss Leslie A. Lundy. That's right. 7 years ago, I married Miss Leslie A. Lundy, and I got to tell you, it was the absolute best decision, by far. It was the absolute best decision that I ever made in my entire life. I mean, since that day, literally since the day that I married my wife, my entire life has gotten better. It has gotten so much better. It's unbelievable. Now, don't get it twisted. Okay? Things in the beginning, things were really, 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 really bad. Okay? Really bad. Like when we first met, I ran this poker league and we were hanging out in bars and restaurants every single night, right? My wife was a bartender at a little place called Cocktails, a little hole in the wall. She was a bartender, and here I was hosting this free poker league, and every night, literally every single night, was built around us getting drunk, us drinking, let's partying, which led to us fighting. There was one night where we got in a big fight and I jumped out of the car and I left and I called a buddy and she came to the house and she was been drinking and we were fighting around the house and she was trying to get in and I was trying to get out and I had to call the cops and the cops came but she ran across the street barefoot. I can't make this stuff up. It was crazy. She ran across the street drunk and barefoot and the cops found her over at the bus stop, but they let her go anyway and she came back to the house and she took a bottle of wine and she threw it and she shattered it in my kitchen so it looked like there was blood everywhere. And then she went and jumped in the car and she drove down the street in the middle of the snow. And as she's driving after drinking 70 miles an hour in a 35, she flips her car around backwards, hits a curb, flips around backwards, goes backwards into an oncoming vehicle that had two people and a small child in it. Her car literally blows up from behind. She breaks her back in multiple places. Is lucky to be alive, right? Is lucky to be alive. But even in the hospital, even as she's in the hospital, she's screaming for them to get me, and they get me, and I show up, and even in the hospital, her and I start fighting. Because that was our life back then. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. Then, after she's like in a back brace, right? She's in a full-on back brace. I go get a new girlfriend, right? She's in a back brace. She asked me if I can meet her for her birthday dinner, right? So I meet her for a birthday dinner. That leads to some other things. She calls me and lets me know later that she's pregnant. So here she is. She's pregnant in a back brace, working at a restaurant as a server, living in low-income housing, having to walk to the bus stop in a back brace to take the bus and get to work because she blew up her car. I had another girlfriend. And this is how our life started, man. This is how our relationship started. Now here we are 7 years later. 7 years later, today I've got a beautiful home that I'm in right now. We have a beautiful home. We have number 7 on the way, right? We have our 7th child on the way. Can you believe it? Dude, my wife has literally been pregnant or breastfeeding since like the day we met. Just about, because she literally got pregnant 3 months after we met. So, and I'm not suggesting you guys go through the same relationship path that my wife and I went through. Yes, Bambi, she got pregnant with a broken back. We were very insistent on connecting, if you know what I'm saying. It was crazy. All right. But listen, what changed? As I think about my anniversary, I think about the 7 years, I got to ask the question, what changed? And how can we all learn from it together here on Rise and Grind? And that's what I'm going to do. Today, we're going to dive into what changed and what we can all learn from it. But before we do, you know what we got to do. Before we get into all that, we got to go ahead and get our dance on, right? Let's go ahead and get our dance on this morning. Hey, guys, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get that energy going. We want to make sure we're flowing in here today so we can deliver an incredible message. So go ahead and get your chair dance on. This is the part of the show, the best part of the show, to go ahead and hit that share button. And I'm telling you, I got a powerful show for you today. So go ahead and hit that share button. Also, we are going to give away a ticket to the Hustle and Grind Conference to people that share. So make sure you're hitting that share button. This is also the part of the show where I want you to say good morning to me, and I'm going to say good morning to you as we kick things off on hashtag Rise and Grind. Good morning, Rich Bashir. What's up? What's up, Tom Russell? What's up, Gail B. Craft? How are you? BB Brandon. I haven't seen you in here forever. Good morning, BB Brandon. Good morning, Beth Workman and Miss Carrie Osborne. Carrie, thanks again for the cupcakes. They're so good. You make the best cupcakes. Good morning, Chris Gablonsky out there in Australia. What's up, Tom Sizemore and my man Daryl Larson. Josh. Oh, good morning, Stephen Jones and Steve Wetmore. What's up, Vicki Everett? How are you? Good morning, Sheila, Jeffrey Lee Parton, Jeff Baker, Archie, Mike. Oh, man, it's feeling good up in here today. Can you feel that energy? I can feel the energy already. Good morning, Sean Hayes and Whitney Wells. What's up? What's up, Scott Simons, my man? It's great to see you. Good morning, Max Klim and Chad Varner, my man, Eddie Gilbert. Speaking of Chad Varner, my man, Chad Varner, I watched an awesome video of his yesterday. That was dope. All right, cool. Y'all feeling it? Y'all feeling it? All right, cool. Whew, whew. All right, let's kill the music because we got a lot to go over, man. Whew. Yes. Feeling that. You know what? Chad Varner, you, sir, are officially our winner from yesterday. You are yesterday's winner of a ticket to Hustle and Grind Con in Orlando, October 8th and 9th, $497 value. You, my man, are the winner. So I'm going to message you right after the show. I'll shoot you a message here on Facebook, and we're going to send you, you hopefully can make it out. You can make it out to Orlando for Hustle and Grind because it is a life-changing conference. All right, check it out. I'm going to do something that makes me a little bit vulnerable. But what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to read a poem for you guys that I wrote for my wife. This is a poem I wrote for my wife a few years ago. But I'm going to go ahead and read this poem real quick, and then I'm going to dive into the things that we can learn from my wife and I's crazy relationship, okay? Check it out. Listen, my wife's skin has healing powers. I know this sounds crazy, but tell you I must. My wife's skin, it can heal. This is true. You can trust. After a long day of the everyday grind, my wife's skin has the power to clear out my mind. When I grab hold of her hand, it changes my life. And I thank the good Lord that she is my wife. I'm addicted. I love it. I just can't get enough. One touch and I just want some more of this stuff. It's exciting, electric, so hard to explain, but her skin, I assure you, heals body and brain. My wife's skin has healing powers. My son Joel, he will tell you he loves her skin too. When he's sick, he lays on it and the healing comes through. There's no place on earth that can do what she can. And my son knows this fact as he's holding her hand. When he's all tired out from a day of fun play, his mom's skin is the place where his head just must lay. It revitalizes, it relieves, it has powers unreal. When you touch my wife's skin, it just brings out your zeal. It's incredible, fantastic. I just can't describe, but her skin, I can promise, should be doctor prescribed. My wife's skin has healing powers. And Savannah, she knows, and she'll let you know too. Her mom's skin, it can heal. She will tell you it's true. She knows with a boo-boo, mom's kiss is the cure. And if her belly hurts, she calls mommy for sure. There's no other love than the caress from mom's skin and the assurance of knowing that she's there, thick and thin. It's amazing. It's tremendous. It's one of God's greatest gifts. One hug from my wife gives my day such a lift. So soft and so warm, you can't quite understand. But her skin, I swear to it, is the best in the land. My wife's skin has healing powers. A soft kiss from her lips and a look in her eyes make my worries run screaming and my dreams become live. My wife is a woman that I wish you all knew. Because her touch, it has healed me. Believe me, it's true. My wife's skin has healing powers. Listen, I understand the love that I have for my wife. Like, in order for you to understand it as well, you have to know a few things. You have to understand a few things about me. See, I was broken. I was utterly broken. And my wife helped heal me. She really helped heal me. I was lacking confidence in a lot of ways. I was lacking confidence in myself, and my wife, she helped me with that. She helped me. I was 100% lacking purpose. I was lacking purpose in my life, and ultimately, my wife led me. She led me to my purpose, right? So listen, my wife is a fighter, okay? My wife is a fighter. She absolutely digs in. She's a beast. When we went through that period of time where we were struggling, I was trying to get out of there, man. I was trying to break free, but my wife, she dug in tooth and nail. She insisted. She absolutely was relentless in her passion. She fought for our relationship. She fought for me in a way that no one had ever fought for me. And I will never, ever forget that. I will always love her for that. So compare and contrast, right? Compare and contrast. We have this relationship that was volatile, that was terrible, that was just plain awful. And now we have the relationship we have now. So here's the question we have today. What can we learn from that, right? What can we learn from that? How did my wife and I get here, and what can we all learn from that together as a group on #Rise and Grind? So I'm going to go into 4 things. I think it's 4 things. Yeah, 4 things. 4 things. Number 1, first and foremost, okay, how we got here in relationship and what we can all learn from it in #Rise and Grind. First thing, first, my wife and I had to shed our skin so that we could grow. Okay, I want you to kind of picture like a snake, right? If you've ever seen a snake's skin, they shed their skin in order to be able to grow stronger, right? And to be able to grow, period, they have to shed their skin. And so, like a snake, my wife and I, our old life had to go. In order for us to grow together, we had to shed our skin completely. Now, if you've ever watched a snake, or if you've ever seen him try to shed his skin, it has to rub his body up against everything, and it's really uncomfortable. His eyes kind of get covered over and cloudy, and it's a really uncomfortable situation, and it's a struggle, right? It's an uncomfortable struggle. And so as human beings, I want you to understand that if it is time for you to shed your skin, if you are looking to grow, I'm going to share with you today, the first thing you got to do is you got to shed your skin. That old life has got to go. The old life has got to go. There is no place in your new existence with your growth for the old life. You can't do both. It doesn't work. So you got to go through this uncomfortable process where you rub off all that old, nasty, stinky stuff. You got to rub it all off. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you got to rub it all off, and then you'll grow, and you'll come out the other side stronger. Change, struggle, grow, succeed is a process that I've taught and talked about for years now. but it starts with the change mentally, letting go of that. Shoo, sorry about that. Almost lost you guys completely. Okay, second thing. This is a powerful episode. Somebody, woo, I thought the devil was going to go in there and shut that down. All right, second thing. We had to let go. My wife and I had to let go of self. We had to completely let go of self. See, we started popping out these kiddos, right? We started popping out kiddos a little bit, and that put us in a position where we had to let go of who we are. We had to let go of self. We had to start living and making moves for other people, making moves for our kids, making moves for each other. We had to completely let go of of our selfish ways. See, everything in our relationship in the beginning was incredibly selfish. All of our intentions were selfish. It was what was great for Glenn. It was what was great for Leslie. That was who we were at the time when we met, when our relationship was volatile. It's because we were incredibly selfish human beings. So we had to let go of self in order to be able to move forward together as a relationship and to actually grow as individuals. Crazy as that sounds, we had to let go of who we were to become who we wanted to be. Now, let me ask you a question. Is it about time for you to let go of self? Because I want you to understand something. We are stronger as human beings together. We are stronger as human beings when we pull together, when we start to do activities and take actions that lift others up, when we start to help others rise, when we give a hand out instead of receiving, instead of trying to take all the time, instead of being selfish human beings, instead of all of our intentions being on making our lives better, when we start to reach out and make others' lives better, when we completely let go of selves, we eradicate ourselves of this selfish tendencies. When we let go, we start to grow stronger. We start to grow stronger. So that was the second thing my wife and I had to do, is we had to let go of self so that we could become strong together, so that we could take care of our kids, so we could be supportive, so we could make decisions that would lead us down the right path. Now, here's the third thing my wife and I had to do that we can apply in our lives together. And this really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we're talking about in your business, or if we're talking about if you could be, if you're single, if you whatever it is, a guy, a girl, married, whatever. These are things that we can apply in our lives as individuals. But they're things that I did learn through my relationship with my wife. I just want to share those with you. Number third, my wife and I had to accept each other's flaws. Listen, I have flaws. Yes, I do. Lots of them. I have flaws, and my wife has flaws too. She's no perfect human being. We're actually in a process right now of talking to our kids about the only perfect being in existence, and it's not us humans. I'll tell you that. My wife has flaws, and I have my flaws, and I understand who I am, and she understands who she is. I understand my role. She understands her role, and we don't try to change each other. Now, don't get me wrong. We, of course, try to encourage each other. We try to lift each other up. I might share a good book with her. She might share a good book with me. She might share a story that she heard. I might share a story with her. We might try to encourage each other to work out, or encourage each other to eat better and things like that. Don't get me wrong. But we don't try to change each other. We understand that we love each other unconditionally. My wife and I are different. She has her flaws, I have mine. Now, are you in your life trying to change others around you? Because I'm here to tell you this morning, you can't do it. You can't do it. You cannot change the people around you. If you don't like the people around you, if you're not connected with the people around you, then the only thing that you can change is self. You can change your environment. You can leave that life behind. You can shed your skin. You can change who you are, but you can't change people ever. And the more and more you try to change others, versus just to your own self being true, the more you try to change others, the harder it will be in your relationships. The more you will struggle in your relationship. The more you will struggle in your business. You will struggle with your coworkers. As long as you are focusing on people's flaws and trying to change them, inherently change who they are, as long as you're setting yourself up that way, you're setting yourself up for failure. I'm here to tell you, my wife and I, we just had to accept the fact that I am flawed and she is flawed, and I love her through her flaws and she loves her through mine. It's called unconditional love, folks, and it's awesome. It is such an awesome place to be because I know that I can 100% be myself around my wife, and she knows she can 100% be herself around me, and that makes us both far more powerful. And this stuff's fire, and I hope you're paying attention because this is good content. Good content. Number 4, the fourth and last thing that my wife and I had to do. The fourth and very last thing that we had to do to get to where we are at today, to get from that old, nasty, ugly, filthy relationship to the one that we have today. Here we are on our 7-year anniversary. The fourth and last thing that we had to do is my wife and I, we had to set moral standards for ourselves and moral standards for our relationship. Now, for us, what that looks like is church. For us, what that looks like is we believe in God. For us, what that looks like is we decide and determine what we believe is acceptable in our life, what's acceptable in our existence, what's acceptable for our children, what we allow our kids to watch, what we allow our kids to listen to. My kids don't watch SpongeBob. My kids don't watch. There's a bunch of stuff that's mainstream cool and mainstream okay, and we just don't allow it. Simply, that's period. Like, I don't blame anybody who does allow it. I don't think anybody's less than or different. I just know that in my relationship with my wife, in our house, we have set moral standards. We have moral standards on how we treat each other. We have moral standards on how we treat other people. We have moral standards, period. My question to you today is, what are your moral standards and are you living up to them? What are your moral standards and are you living up to them? Do you even have moral standards? Do you know what your moral standards are? Because if you don't, I suggest you take the time. Take a look in the mirror. Make a decision like, hey, here's what I believe. These are the things that I will stand for. These are the standards with which I will live my life. And then you got to go out there and you got to live up to it. You got to do it. And you got to constantly watch it and monitor it, because this life and this existence will try to drag you in every possible direction. Sean Hayes is really good at this, and he reminds me all the time. He's always like, hey, Glenn, just remember as you continue to grow in the spotlight and being out there that more and more your morals will be challenged, and you got to stay on top of that stuff. You got to stay on top of that stuff. Listen, folks, all of these things apply. These 4 things that I'm talking to you about: shedding your skin so that you can grow, letting go of self and learning that you're stronger in community than you are alone, accepting others' flaws and understanding that you too are flawed, and setting your moral standards. These 4 things, they apply to your business, to your life, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're a guy, whether you're a girl. They apply in all senses. And if you can focus in these 4 areas, I promise you, considering you are already this amazing human being, uniquely made by God himself, the God of the universe, uniquely made you to be the absolute best version of you that you can be. And considering you're this incredible person that's part of this elite group of people that we're choosing to rise and grind. We're choosing to be a part of this group where our feed is filled with positivity, under the belief that if we can change the way people start their day, that we can change this planet. Because you're a part of that elite group, I promise you, if you apply these 4 things in areas of your life, you're going to see massive growth. It will make an impact on you. It'll make an impact on your family members, on your coworkers, on everyone around you. It will. And I know this for a fact because you being in my life has already made an impact on me. And I, for one, absolutely love you for it. I do. If no one's told you that yet today, I absolutely love you. Now listen, if you need more videos like this, you can go to glenlundy.com. If you need a Rise and Grind t-shirt or other gear, go to glenlundy.com. If you haven't got your tickets to Hustle and Grind Con, there's two ways you can do it. One, go to glenlundy.com. You can get them there, or go ahead and hit that share button. Because if you hit that share button right now, tomorrow morning I'm going to draw somebody else that's going to win a ticket to Hustle and Grind Con in Orlando, just like my man Chad Varner won a ticket today. So make sure you hit the share. Make sure you focus on those 4 areas. And most importantly, will you please come back here tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. as we do this all over again on hashtag Rise and Grind. Have a phenomenal day today. Thank you for all the happy anniversaries. Hop over to my wife's page, Leslie Lundy, on Facebook, and shoot her a happy anniversary too. I've got some surprises in store for her today that she doesn't even know is coming. I can't let it leak right now because you guys will tell her, or somebody will tell her or something, but I got some surprises set up for her today. But you guys have a phenomenal day. I'm going to do the same, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. as we hashtag Rise and Grind.